What is going on, guys? This is the MMA Complex. My name is Josh.
And I'm James.
And it is a brand new year, 2019. It is January the 5th. It's a Saturday night over here in rainy Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
Brand new year, man. It's we're kicking off the new year. First episode. How were the holidays? Recap.
Christmas is good. I mean, I'm not big on holidays, but I mean, they were good. I think,
You do not like the holidays. I know.
yeah, New Year's, it was really quiet. Just her family has a get together with a bunch of food, and I didn't want to go because I had to work earlier that day, but I went. Good food,
Yeah.
good food, but I just had to get up at 6 in the morning the next day. It was rough.
It was rough. What about your New Year's?
Yeah, that was my New Year's.
That was New Year's. That
Yeah.
wasn't Christmas.
Christmas was good.
Christmas was good?
Yeah, it's always good. Yeah, Christmas is always fun.
That's good.
I mean, although I don't like Christmas, I think Christmas was funner this year than New Year's. What about you, man?
You spent it with her family, though, right?
Yeah.
Christmas was interesting this year because my baby boy was born the 23rd, and then we brought him home the 25th, Christmas Day. So we spent Christmas Eve in the hospital. Obviously, you know that, and then just for the people out there, they spent the night there. It was a long labor process. We got in Saturday night around 9 o'clock. He was born around 9:30 Sunday night. Labor process was like maybe 3.5 hours, something like that.
Jesus Christ.
It was intense. I would say that the whole day. Being the dad, and you kind of have to let go of control in a lot of ways, and just like everything's out of your hands. Like how the baby's doing, how she's doing. Like you are like you're just there to assist and to provide whatever help you can do. I don't know how it is with all deliveries or for most people. I don't think everybody gets involved as much as I did. Like I was in the middle of it. Like it was me, a couple of nurses, and then when it came down to it, the delivery nurse, the main doctor, the one that delivers the baby, and it was interesting. Yeah. Basically I helped with everything as much as I could without actually delivering the baby it's himself. Like I didn't want to do that part, and I was even offered to do that, which is crazy.
No. Oh.
But I was right there. Saw
it all.
Saw it all. I went through it all. Except that,
Was
she
it the
was a
worst?
trooper though.
Was it the most disgusting thing you ever seen?
No, it really isn't. It's not as bad as people, say. Like in the movies, a guy faints or whatever. It's not that bad. It really isn't. For your wife or your significant other or whatever, it's not fun for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in her shoes, but
Oh, hell no.
but no, she pulled through. She did great. It was a couple of it was just a long day, really, really long day. But did that, got back home, brought it to the family on Christmas Day. Named him Julian Connor Signs, and not Connor after Conor McGregor. It was Connor after a family member. But yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was it. He's been doing good. It's almost 2 weeks. 2 weeks. He'll be 2 weeks old tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I've taken this time off. I'm taking pretty much the month of January off, and then staying home, helping out around the house, helping out with the baby, changing diapers, staying up late, sleeping in shifts. He's a great baby though. He sleeps a lot, so it's fine. We're good.
Good, man. Well,
Good.
congrats, man.
Thanks, man. And then and New Year's spent it here. Got a little hours of sleep before midnight,
Mm-hmm.
just because I know my baby shift was going to be on after midnight, so I had to get my sleep in. But really chill New Year's, but it was good. Good holidays. Caught the fights over the holidays, and let's get right into it. A lot happened since we last put an episode out. You had UFC 232 was obviously the big event. You had Rizin had their annual New Year's card. I mean, we could touch on that real quick, but that's something in its own right there. UFC 232, Jones Gustafsson, from Inglewood, California, formerly Las Vegas, We can't. I mean, it's been beaten to death. The whole, picograms and you know the drug tests and the cover up or alleged perceived cover up and moving from one venue to another because Nevada didn't want to clear Jones to fight, so they moved everybody over to California, which cleared him to fight. Sold out the Forum. Um, I mean, they didn't lose money really in that sense. They sold out the Forum. They did the card was great. A lot of drama leading up to it, like always in the Jones card. Um, but breaking down the card real quick, you had Ryan Hall defeating BJ Penn. You had Megan Anderson defeating Kat Zingano by eye injury. That was crazy. I thought it was a little messed up that she started punching her right after. Like
I mean, it's the rules. I mean,
it's the rules, but yeah,
I mean, what are you gonna do? Like lose the fight?
yeah, that's true. But you could clearly see that she turned her back. You know what I mean? You could clearly see it. And
Yeah,
Megan Anderson
but I mean, if anyone's to blame, is the referee for not stopping it.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, he was trying to figure out
Megan Anderson has no control over that situation.
Yeah.
She's there to win, and that's the referee's fault. Like when the referee saw her turn her back,
he should have jumped in. Yeah.
Megan Anderson is completely innocent.
Kat Zingano suffered an eye injury. I think she'll be okay. She has retina damage and stuff like that, but I think she'll heal up and fight sometime later on.
I wasn't happy. I mean, for Megan Anderson to get a win like that for her first UFC win isn't really a win.
No, it's not
So
at
I don't know
all.
why she was all celebrating like she's champion, but she can celebrate that win, quote unquote, and for Amanda Nunes gets her hands on her, she's gonna knock her out.
It looks good on paper because it's a TKO win, technically.
Amanda Nunes would eat her alive though.
Yeah. Walt Harris defeating Andre Arlovsky. I thought that was a close split decision victory. I could have went either way. I mean, depending on how you felt about that one. Not a whole lot of action in that fight. Alex Volkanovski defeating Chad Mendes, who recently announced his retirement on Instagram following this loss. For what reason, I'm not sure. I mean, he had a victory. He recently just came back earlier this year. This is his first defeat coming back, so he's 1-1, and then decides to hang it up.
He has been on the side. So,
Yeah.
I mean, why? He's probably making more money than he is fighting.
Probably.
Um,
And if you're not
he has
in
a
it,
family.
yeah. If you're not mentally in it,
Yeah.
it's better to not be. It's sad to lose him though. Alex Volkanovski though, going to be someone to keep an eye on going forward. Corey Anderson defeating Lier Latifi. I thought it was kind of a flat performance by Lier, but Corey Anderson showed up, did really well. Calling out Jones. Everybody's calling out Jones right now. Anthony Smith's calling out Jones. Even Luke Rockhold, which we'll get into, is calling out Jones because he's moving up to light heavyweight. Michael Chiesa defeating Carlos Condit. Felt bad for Carlos.
He's done.
He's done, man. It's just the fire is not there. You look for it, you wait for it to see the old Carlos, and it's just not there.
And I think it's more of he's past his prime. I think
Yeah.
the sport moved on.
Because he's relatively young still. He's like in his
He is,
early
but
to
when you
mid
have,
30s.
I mean, but these guys are animals nowadays, and
Yeah.
I think Carlos is he's been away from the cage for a long time.
Yeah.
He's not very consistent in his appearances, but
Like the fire,
I just think
you don't see it. Yeah.
I think I just think that sport moved on.
Yeah. You just don't see it. You don't see you wait for him, and there's no sense of urgency. There's no aggressiveness. It's just like he's going with emotions in the cage.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a champion, and I think it's time for him to move on.
Yeah, and he hasn't really taken a whole lot of damage, throughout his career. Not a whole lot. So it's weird to see him look so sluggish in there. And I mean, he looked good early on in the grappling. I thought he did really well with the grappling. And props to Michael Chiesa, who looked like massive in there, moving up to welterweight. And then you had Amanda Nunes defeating Chris Cyborg 51 seconds into the first round via knockout, which was, I mean, surprising to some, but not surprising to others. It's still surprising to see it. Even if you kind of expected her to have that possibility of finishing Cyborg with strikes, and if they got into an exchange, it's still crazy to see. So 13 years undefeated. Cyborg goes down face plant. What did you make of the fight?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved seeing the Cyborg fans being sad. Um, uh, hmm. I mean, we all know Amanda's strengths, and then Cyborg played right into it.
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
did.
if you're gonna fight and be in the pocket with Amanda, no matter if you're the bigger fighter or not, although Amanda looked a little bigger than Cyborg that night, you're gonna get hit hard and you
Yeah.
can knock out. The crazy thing about it is that I think Ronda lasted a little longer than Cyborg
Yeah.
in this fight, but both fights combined were under 2 minutes, which
Yeah.
is kind of crazy. And I mean, she's beating Cyborg. She's beating Ronda. She
Misha.
beat Misha. So I mean,
Is she the GOAT?
I think she is.
I think so too.
I think it's a hard argument. It's a hard argument to say that she isn't.
Is she a perfect fighter? No. Is she beatable? Yeah.
I mean, Kat
Kat
Zingano.
Zingano just beat her not that long ago.
Yeah. I think uh, I think the way to beat her is to drag the fight out
to drag the fight out.
and fight smart. Don't fight her fight.
Yeah, exactly. And Cyborg played right into her strengths. I mean, Cyborg did what Cyborg does, but when you have two bulls like that, and one obviously hits harder than the other, as we saw there, and Amanda was like, I felt her power, and I just kept on going because she didn't feel like it was all that it was cracked up to be.
Yeah, I think with Cyber, I think people have kind of put her on a pedestal, and I think
She's scary. She's scary.
yeah,
for
and
other
I
girls.
think Cyborg thought maybe she's invincible and she can just fight character like that. And
Yeah,
I think from all those times that people called her the best, and calling her saying that she could beat a man, kind of like the Ronda treatment.
that and you run into another brick wall, and it's like, and you run into somebody who has not most of the girls in the divisions in both divisions can't throw hands like both of those girls,
Yeah,
and that's where it comes to. You got
it
two
was a
bulls.
perfect style fighting for
Perfect
for
style.
Amanda.
Yeah, exactly. So
But-
somebody was gonna go down, and Cyborg went down. That was it.
Yeah, and I think
But that last shot, man, all those shots, it's
Mhm.
fucking, they were just like,
after the fight, I went straight to like our friends' Instagram, like Amy and other people, just to see the reaction.
I'm sure they
I
were.
was smiling inside.
But
But yeah, I think, I mean, 145 is pretty much irrelevant. I mean,
Yeah.
who's there? And Megan's there. I think Megan's will get eaten alive by Amanda. I think Amanda Nunes knocks her out in the first round too.
yeah, I think so too. And I think if Cyborg she wouldn't get past half of the girls in that division. She didn't get past Holly, and I don't see her getting past a lot of people. I think I think might have been Cyborg's last fight on her contract. I don't know if she resigns. The only reason I see her resigning is obviously it's the UFC and the
I
chance to
think
get
it
her
was
belt back.
Bellator.
I say she goes to Bellator.
I think so too.
I think it's a better move if she actually goes to Bellator because they have
There's an actual division.
There's an actual division. There's a champion who holds that title, and they will promote the hell out of her. I think she has more chances to get money and finish out her career. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the only thing that will bring her back is to get that win, try to get that fight again over Amanda. But Amanda doesn't seem too high on giving her a rematch right away. So I don't know.
I think someone that can be a double champ in that division is Valentina. She goes up to 135.
Yeah, I think so too.
And challenges her again. She can be a double champ.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then we got into the main event: Jones versus Gustafsson for the second time. Light heavyweight title on the line. Cormier relinquished his title just the day before. So it's technically the vacant title. And for my thoughts on the fight, both fighters didn't look at the best. They didn't look the best they've ever looked, I would just say. Gus looked a little soggy.
Gus looked horrible in that
He
fight.
looked horrible. His movement wasn't that great. He seemed like he was always trying to like restart his movement, and partially a lot of that had to do with Jones's strategy, trying to offsetting his footwork and kicking at his legs and all that. Obviously, Jones did really well staying on the outside and not going in like he did in the previous fight. So I mean, a lot of it was Jones's strategy, and then when it time to go in for the kill, he went in for the kill. Jones looked weird, and did he not look like the normal Jones? He looked a little soft himself. He looked a little smaller.
He looked his age.
He looked his age.
Same with Gus. Gus looked really old in there, and he just seemed like he was kind of shy to like swing or to get to press the action.
Yeah.
But Jones looked like an aged fighter. He didn't look like the unstoppable John Jones.
No.
Although, I mean, he pretty much dominated that fight, but he didn't look like the Jones that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, and then Gus had been out of the cage for a little over a year, so you got to put. Yeah, that's why I felt like going into this fight, even with the PED accusations and maybe the drug testing for Jones and the time off at Gus, and the time that had how long it's been since the previous fight. I felt like they were still like almost at the same point, physically, mentally, career wise. Is like an even playing field for both of them. They both look like shit. Like for my opinion, yeah, they did not look like their old selves. I'll just say that. Like if you look from one fight to the next, strategy aside, they did not look like the world beaters that they did previously.
Yeah, I agree.
Jones, you can say what you want to say about his legacy and even him going into this fight and a drama around it. His performance was smart. He stayed on the outside. He picked them apart from the outside. He went in for the kill when it came time to it. But is he pound per pound still the greatest of all time? Or at least in this performance, did he show it?
It's hard for me to say that he is, just because his past.
Yeah.
If he was like still being crazy like how he was before and getting suspended for reasons other than steroids, then I'd consider him to go. But knowing that he's been popped more than once or twice, I have a hard time. Yeah, I have a hard time saying that he's a GOAT.
And like, we don't have to get too into all these accusations, the tests and all that stuff. Do you buy the excuse by USADA and UFC?
No, and hearing that interview with Joe Rogan just made me dislike Joe Rogan even more. Like he just falls into like everything. He just falls for everything Nowinski was saying. It was like
even before
he didn't even question him. He's like, it's just really annoying.
Even before with his podcast with Diaz, he was kind of defending the UFC stance on everything.
Yeah,
like defending their picograms and the old test showing up. Listen, it's like when whatever you want to say in terms of the testing and if he's getting preferential treatment, if the testing are correct, if they're just covering up his bullshit because he failed two tests, I think one in September, one in August or whatever, October, that they're kind of letting, pushing that aside because they're claiming it's old stuff showing up. Which is funny because with Frank Mir had the same shit, but they suspended him for 2 years. No one has this problem, and no one else has to go through this. No one else fails tests. No one else has picograms.
The fact that it was in the system, that's period.
He's obviously a user and a convicted and caught cheater.
Yeah,
that's it. Like it's always gonna be on his record.
And what I can't stand is that he brings the whole Jesus thing and like he denies it when then how did that stuff even go in your system? Did it? Yeah. Was it a dick pill? Like, no, it wasn't. It was you.
It was you using microdosing.
I mean, I think I have a lot more respect for him. We just own up to it.
That and again, you look at his brothers, both in the NFL. You obviously know the connections that the NFL people have in terms of steroid use, and they don't really drug test too much in the NFL. You don't think any of those NFL players are freaking juicing their hell out of themselves?
They're pissing chemicals every day.
Both of those brothers, I think at least one of them has popped before in the NFL.
Yeah.
So they're and then you have their other brother, their youngest brother or middle brother Jones, is a world champion UFC fighter who's gotten popped 3 times or whatever. Like it's there.
And for people
smoke, fire, whatever.
Yeah,
he's a user.
And for people to defend him and give him, it reminds you of Trump. Like it's like a Trump supporter.
And he's so
gave him the pass. And the way he's just so like
he's so arrogant, man. He's just so like such an ass. Him. Like he really is. Like I know he's got some. You want to like him.
I can't like him,
but then he can't. Even when he's so rude to like reporters, even though he backtracked and apologized to that one reporter. Like he's so arrogant and so rude. and it's just like
Again, if he owns up to it and then yeah, I can respect that and maybe like him a little, but he doesn't. He denies it
what
when the evidence is there.
over or under. Like, what are the chances of him? He said he wants to fight 3 times this year. What are the chances of him getting
Uh,
suspended again?
I can bet money that he's gonna get suspended again this year.
I think so too.
He can't go
I don't think
a
he could go a full
year
year.
without getting caught with something,
Yes,
whether it be steroids or whether it be outside the cage or something's gonna happen in the next 12 months.
and they are
What it
gonna,
is, I don't know.
and the media is gonna pay attention to every drug test he has for the rest of the year,
Yeah.
for forever in his
Oh,
career.
they used to look so bad in so many ways.
And just that PR like campaign they went on to save the card and to save face. It was just like this
Yeah,
is
because if
sad.
anybody else would have done that, would have popped for the same
Oh,
thing,
yeah, they would have been cut.
they would have
They would
been
have been cut,
suspended,
suspended.
cut, or it's like
Bad.
yeah, they're just greedy in so many ways, and they choose to promote. And like for example, like Paige Van Zandt, like she hasn't been the same fighter, and Reebok didn't want to re-sign her.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like your old news.
Exactly. So it's nice to have, a fighter like Jones back in the mix of things. I think the UFC needs it, but he's not a very likable person, and even if he was like not a likable person and was a clean fighter, you could still appreciate him. But the fact that he's not a clean fighter and he's not a good person, it's like there's nothing
It's
to
easy
like.
to hate him.
It's easy to hate him. There's nothing to really like there, and his performances lately haven't been the greatest. Um, so it's time will tell. We'll see how this year goes for him. Sure, we'll see how this
Next 6 months.
we'll see how the tests go for the fight night test and the after test. We'll see how those go. But he plans to be pretty active this year, and everybody's calling him out.
Yeah.
So I think Jones is going to be a topic for right now for a little while. Let's see. In terms of him calling out Cormier, which he did, do you think he has a case or deserves another crack at Cormier before Cormier retires?
I mean, I think the
Should
question.
Cormier give him one?
I think it should be the opposite, right? Because Cormier should be asking him for because Jones beat him twice, even though the second fight was
Yeah.
a no contest.
Does Cormier?
I mean, I think so. I think that fight should happen, but I think it should happen at heavyweight, not light heavyweight.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that fight at light heavyweight. I
No?
want to see it at heavyweight. I want to see Jones get tested at heavyweight.
I would. I think I'd say I have the
And
I have
then,
a different view.
and then DC is undefeated at heavyweight, so
Yeah.
it makes the fight more interesting.
It does. It does. But I think for them to be at their best, I think it's at light heavyweight. I think in terms of from seeing Cormier at heavyweight and seeing how he looked physically, how he was moving in the cage against Stipe, I don't see that. Like, I don't know how Jones is going to look really, but I want to see Cormier as fit as possible with the best cardio and just the two of them going at it. The best Jones. I think their best is at light heavyweight in terms of like conditioning.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I think DC wants that Brock fight, and then bye bye.
I think so too. I don't see it happening. I don't blame DC. I don't think he really needs it. I think Jones has really tarnished his record, even though he beat him. I think he's tarnished his record enough to where he can, make a claim that he's a cheater and he doesn't really need to give him anything, or even entertain a fight with him, and and uh, and the fact that there's so much emotion and work goes into a fight, the build up, and then we've seen Jones get pulled at the last second. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, does DC want to risk going through that again?
I think DC is
I wouldn't really do it. I don't think I would do it if I was DC.
no. I mean, I want to see that fight at heavyweight only because DC is undefeated at heavyweight, and I think it makes things interesting. I don't think it will happen. I think DC wants that Brock Lesnar fight before he retires, and you can't blame him. He wants that big payday before he leaves the sport, and also I think deep down inside, I think DC maybe he doesn't think that he'll lose that fight because I don't think he does, but I think I think he knows there's a possibility that he can lose a
Yeah.
third fight against Jones, and it'll just ruin him
And
inside.
and so you think let's say that's next for Jones. Does DC should DC entertain a fight with Jones
I mean,
anymore?
no, I don't think he should. Just because I
Like,
think Jones beats him again.
yeah,
I think he should just fight at heavyweight, fight the next contender, and then wait for the Brock fight, and then just retire as champion.
yeah, um,
I think that's the best case scenario for DC right now.
yeah. I think so too. I think for DC, I think it would be nice for the fans to really see a third time. I think the best form of either fighter is at light heavyweight, conditioning, physically, everything. Um, I would like to see it at light heavyweight. DC fights Brock heavyweight, and Jones for the last time at light heavyweight. I can see DC's hesitation just because of Jones's track record with PEDs, his the emotion and everything that build up that goes into a fight, and the possibility of the fight not even happening. Yeah, I could see him being hesitant to even entertain a fight, and also the fact that there's a good chance that Jones could win that fight for a third time. So, I mean, aside the upside is a third crack at Jones, hopefully clean, hopefully vulnerable, and a big payday. That's and a chance to claim yourself as the rightful greatest of all time. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah, no, no. I mean, I agree with
yeah.
a lot that you said. I think, yeah, I don't see it happening. I think the best case scenario for DC is to avoid Jones as much as you can.
So Jones beating Gus, um, reclaiming the light heavyweight title. What's next for Gus? Where is he at now?
I mean, I mean, I think the only reason why he got the title shot was because how close the first fight between him and Jones was. I think if it wasn't for that, I don't think uh, Gus is like deserves a title shot at this point. 205 is really shallow. I think one win with anybody puts you there
Yeah.
at 205. I think Gus goes back and fights maybe a Volkan, maybe someone like that.
There's some blood being in there. There's Tyson Pedro. There's Shogun is hanging in there. There's Luke Rockhold moving up. There's Ozdemir. There's Anthony Smith. There's who else is there? There's a few. There's some young guys, some fresh blood coming in
I
there.
think I think I think I think Gus and Rocco would be a
Yeah,
good fight.
even Yoel I think is possible of going up to light heavyweight. There's chances
Mm,
of that happening.
he
So
should.
there's some fresh blood kind of in there, but it's still green. It's just like they're not veterans, they're not seasoned fighters, they're not world beaters. They're just guys that are on the up and up. So
Hmm.
it is very shallow. But we'll see how that plays out. And um, everybody's calling out Jones now. You name it, everybody in that division is calling out Jones. Uh, let's say Luke Rockhold goes up to light heavyweight, which he's planning on. Do you like that fight? Would that be something that you make right away if Jones can't get Cormier? Um, is does Luke Rockhold need to prove himself against like a contender like
I don't like
Anthony
that fight.
Smith?
I think Rocco gets smoked. It's not even a fight. I think he could barely get past Whiteman.
Yeah, I would like to see Rockhold really test himself against like an Ozdemir or an
Yeah,
Anthony
I
Smith
think I think him
first.
and Jones is a bad matchup. I think that's a very winnable fight for Jones. I think Jones smokes
Yeah,
him.
or even Gus and Rockhold. That I think would be a good one.
Yeah, but not Rocco and Jones.
No, too
Oh,
soon. Even though he's a former champion, I think it's a little
oh, dude,
too soon. I think
Jones would
if he
eat
can
him
get
up
past
alive.
Gus, I think that'll be yeah. You throw him in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, which rematch would you want to see first in 2019, or which rematches do you think we'll get to see? Um, Cyborg Nunez, you have Jones Cormier, you have Khabib Connor. Do you think they all happen?
No, I think Cyborg Nunes, no, not out of the question. Dana said it himself. It's sad because Cyborg
In 2019 at
was
least?
a no
Let's say the whole year.
the whole year. No, I think Cyborg signs with Bellator, so I think she's out of that picture.
Yeah.
Um, I think a rematch was going to happen right away. I'd say Khabib and Connor, and I don't see the DC Jones.
Yeah. I,
I think
I'd
Khabib and
say
Conor.
Khabib and Connor has the highest chance of actually coming to fruition. Um, After that would probably be Jones Cormier, and then after that would be Amanda and Cyborg. Um, do I see any of them happening in 2019?
Yeah, I see Conor
I
and
say at least
Khabib.
Connor and Khabib
Yeah,
happening. For sure, I think Connor Khabib is a very good chance of that happening. As
yeah.
long as both of them win whatever fights are lined up for them next, if it's not each other.
I mean,
Um,
Dustin Poirier doesn't get smoked, so
yeah, so it's Dustin Poirier, possibly you have Khabib and Ferguson. So granted they win their fights, I say it happening.
yeah,
Um, Connor just I think had his second baby, I
yeah.
think right recently, a day or two ago. Um, and then you have another fight that happened on the New Year's time. Obviously, straight up on New Year's was the Rizin event. We didn't even go into the whole card really, but I did want to get into the Floyd and um, the Floyd Mayweather fight, tension fight. Did you see it?
Yeah, I was actually at my lunch and I was scrolling through my feed and they had the whole fight online. So I
Your
watched it.
your initial thoughts?
It was a joke. I laughed. I literally
Yeah.
laughed when I saw that fight. I
your
it looked like a pro wrestling show.
yeah. Your initial thoughts, fake or not fake?
Fake.
Fake. Mine too.
Oh,
You know,
definitely.
even Liz was all like, "This is fake, right? Is this fake?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so." Yeah,
I think Rizin won in so many ways. I mean, they had a spotlight.
yeah.
And then with
They sacrificed their young, up and coming hot
yeah,
prospect to showcase some
and it
old.
wasn't really a sacrifice. It was
It doesn't look good.
exhibition.
Yeah, but he doesn't. It wasn't. It doesn't go on his
And
record, but it doesn't look good for
yeah, I
him
mean,
for tension.
and even then, I think it does. I think 99% of the people think it was fake. So I don't even think he
There's
loses
a
any
lot of people out.
credibility.
I don't know. There's a lot of people out there, especially fighters, that are like, you know,
The-
loving Mayweather in this fight. I don't know what it is.
yeah, I don't know. It was
I
it
had
was
fake.
bad.
Had fake written all over it.
Yeah,
I've seen tension fight before,
and he
and
does not fight like that
he
at
does
all.
not fight like that. And even though it was a straight up boxing match, he's taking punches, and Mayweather is not a knockout artist.
And a lot of those like knockdowns were like,
Especially the
didn't even
first one.
land.
The first one barely landed, and then he flopped like 2 times in that
Yeah,
first one.
it reminded me of an NBA player
Yeah,
getting like,
if you if you want to see, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. It was like an NBA player knocking
yeah.
backwards. If you want to see a really smart, intelligent breakdown of it, Robin Black's breakdown. I don't know if you
Mm.
caught Robin Black's
No,
breakdown.
I heard of it though.
You watch it. He breaks it down bit by bit in like a minute long Instagram post, and it's like he points out all the
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 flaws.
flaws. You have Mayweather going. Obviously he goes low, and one of the knockdowns he goes low, and then it goes high real quick. Uh, it mostly touches the glove of tension, and then tension instead of going with the motion to like his right, he flops straight back, and it's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like stuff like he points out that, and the first one it's like, attention, where did you get hit at? Robin Black's like, where did you get even hit? Where was
yeah.
it? Where did the punch come from?
It was embarrassing.
It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing for
Yeah, it's Japan. It's what they do.
It is.
It's all about spectacle.
And
If you
yeah,
can think of one word to describe Risen, it's a spectacle.
it is. I saw a few of their fights. They had some really good. I like watching Rizin because it's like old pride in a lot of ways.
It's a variety show.
It's
is
a
what it is.
variety show, but it's fun. It's fun. Some great talent on there. One person who I think doesn't get as much uh, like credit, like it doesn't get as much praise. I would say is who fought right before Kawajiri or Horiguchi. I'm sorry, Horiguchi. Kyoji Horiguchi. He fought tension in like a kickboxing fight, and that you see that fight alone, and you watch the Mayweather fight, it's like two completely different people. I mean, Horiguchi since leaving the UFC has like taken Rizin by storm, and that guy is far more talented than I don't think I've ever given credit
Mm.
to, and I think people really know. Stand up, wrestling, jujitsu. He submitted Darren Caldwell, which is the bantamweight Bellator champ.
Mm.
Submitted him on Rizin.
Mm.
It was like a champ versus champ cross promotion thing. Submitted him. Um, Horiguchi is phenomenal fighter. Like I mean, like just watching him, even against tension, is just like insane. Like the guy is so talented. And it goes to show you how good Demetrius Johnson is. Like that's because he beat them, and it's like
Mhm.
the fact that he beat Horiguchi is just like Horiguchi's on a roll, man. Um, that happened. I didn't want to get too much into it and talk about that too much, but it was obviously, from our opinion, a fake fight.
Right.
But it is what it is. At the end of this year, we'll get into our last topic of the night. At the end of this year, who do you see holding a belt? Any fighter on the say UFC roster, who do you say holding a belt?
That's not a champion right
It's
now.
not a champion right now.
Jeez. You go first. I can't even think right now.
There you go.
Um,
The person I see in any division that's not a champion right now, I would say Israel Adesanya. I have mixed feelings about Israel. I like him. I like his fighting style. He is a little sensitive too much for my taste, but
I have one.
but he is a very talented guy, and I'm still a fan of his.
Cain Velasquez.
Cain Velasquez, nice one. Yeah, the return. Who fights next month
Yeah.
in Arizona? I like that one. That's a good one.
Mhm.
All right, that's our show. New Year's show. Thank you guys for watching. Go to MMAComplex.com. Pick up our shirts. Glad to kick off the new year.
Yeah, happy New Year, guys, and you can follow us on the social media and with our shenanigans going on this year. You can follow him, Josh, MMA Complex Josh. You can follow me, MMA Complex James. You can follow the show on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all under one name, the MMA Complex. So we're looking forward to a new year. The UFC has a new partner now, ESPN, so we heading over there for their first show. But until then, we'll watch. I think it's a pretty quiet week right now,
Yeah, for this week.
So yeah, we'll keep you guys in touch for the next big fight. So we'll see you guys next week, and have a great night.